panels and tools in Photoshop. Photoshop has a lot of panels that will not accommodate the screen at a particular time. So that's why some panels are essential panels that you need at all the times. So when you go to the windows, you see all the list of panels that are there, right? So the list of panels that are in the windows, you see all the panels that are checked are the ones active. Those are the ones active. So those are the ones active, the panels that are checked. So if you, for example, if I click color, you can see the color panel has disappeared. So that is the way panels work. So, and these panels are movable. You can rearrange them. You can put them in a different location. The way they are now, they are docked. You can undock a panel. This is called a floating window, and then you can bring it back to form a panel group. When panels are arranged like this, in tabs, they are grouped together. A panel can also exist on its own, even when you are not floating it. If I come here, you see that straight thick blue line. If I drop it there, that panel exists on its own, so without being grouped. And then I can move it back here to group it. Then I can slide it to rearrange the panel. And each of the panel has what we call panel menu, that you can also use to perform some task on the panel. Then a panel that you do not need, you can bring it out, or you can simply click here. So you can close the panel if you don't want to. So I'm going to leave that for now. This is our property panel. Let's say I want to bring in character panel. I can come here and bring it out. You can see that it's loaded here and with paragraph panel. So the same thing is also available. You see our our property panel. If you bring out the character panel, it's loaded here. You see. So another thing is Workspace. Workspace is an special arrangement of your panel to suit specific workflow. For example, if you go to the Workspace, the one we are using now is essential, and you also have other ones. Let's say I want to be doing I'll be doing a lot of painting, digital painting. I can just switch to painting. So Photoshop will bring appropriate panel configuration that will suit the digital painting. Even though you can do that arrangement yourself, but it's a preset that you can quickly use. And then we can come back here and switch back to our essential. In addition to that, here we have the panel icon here that you can also, if you are using the newer version of Photoshop 2122, they are also here. You can quickly change, here. But let's say sometimes that's what I do. If my layer is long, because to get to a point you have a very long layer, and I don't want to be scrolling, what I can do is I can just dock my layer here. You can see that straight line, so you can see. So, and I'm going to have access to all. It's easier for me because it's long, and I can easily access all the layers here. So if I like this specific workflow and I want to be using it all the time, you can save it. So what I will do is I'll just come to Workspace. I'll come to new Workspace. Then here I can say my layer. I'll just say layer, then vertical. So panel. So I've just describe it so I can save it. What it means is that I can always come back here. So I'll go to window. You can see that is enabled. If I go back to essential, look at what will happen. This panel is still there. It's not going anywhere, because when I created my custom panel, I created it from the Essential. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go to Workspace. Since I've switched to Essential, I will reset the Essential so that we are back at Essential. I go back to the Workspace, then I can switch back to my vertical, right? So we do it a lot, by the time you start doing a lot of long, and this is also suitable when you have a wide screen or you have a multiple screen. You can put some panel in one screen, some panel in another screen. So that's the advantage of working with multiple screen. Then in addition, we can remove a panel. Let's say this panel is there. I don't want it again. I can just delete. Then because it's the active one anyway. So to remove it, I have to switch to another one. Then I can come to Workspace. Then I'm going to delete. Then you can see, then I'll delete it. I'll say okay. So if I go back to Workspace, you can see it's no more there. Then other things we are going to be working with tools panel. So this is where you use your tools. In the early day of Photoshop, panels, the arrangement is usually in two rows like this, but it depends on your preference anyway. So you can have it, straight line like this. Then what other thing you should know is that all of these tools, most of them have multiple tools grouped together. Probably they perform, similar functions, sort of. So they are grouped. You can see there are artboard tools, you have move tools, then you have your selection tools, which are rectangular, elliptical, regular shape selection tools. Then you have irregular, shape selection tools. And you have other selection tool, object, quick selection. So we're going to be going through most of these tools as we progress with our classes. So, and one other thing I need to point out is that each of these tools are content sensitive. What it means that the option bar is linked to each tool. So whatever tools I choose here will reflect what you can do with it in the option bar. So if I click this, you can see the option bar is updated. If I click this, the option bar is updated to reflect the property associated with particular tools. So that is the way it is, and up to down here. So that is our toolbar, our panel, and the option bar that are here. So don't forget, when you make an error in the arrangement of your toolbar, let's say I bring out my toolbar and I click it, it disappears. There's no more toolbar. My layer, maybe unknowingly, I remove it. Let's say unknowingly, I close this. I don't have my essential panels here again. Layers, toolbars are missing. So instead of coming here, try to figure out to enable them. What you simply do is you go to the workspace and just say reset essential. So it's going to reset it. That's a particular essential that you scattered or that you're having issue with. It's going to reset it to the defaults. So see you in the next class.